guess I'm sort of glad that happened so you could see what you're trying to avoid, and I think this ought to be better. Put it in there, put it upside down, and let it, okay, I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'm going to take that and let it rise again, and let me get the other one. This one will shape a little bit different. The reason it comes out of this bowl pretty easily is because we put olive oil in it. Take it and flip it over, stretch it out, just to get that air out of it. When you're doing it, you can hear the air coming out of it. You can see it, so you just want to make sure you get all the air pockets. And then I flip it back over, pull it toward me, pull it. And as I'm doing, I'm pushing the bottom to where it's like a dough that you're pulling it together at the bottom and making sure it connects. And then this one, since I'm making a slightly different shape, I'm gonna not make it so round, make it more like a football. And then I'm gonna take it and put it in my bowl. See, and all this will. Since this is the bottom of the bread, it's not that important how it looks. These two here, I'm going to put them back in the closet. I'm going to put them back in the closet and wait another about 3 hours, and you'll see that they're going to fill this bowl almost all the way up here. This one's going to be all the way around. And then, when they're just at the right amount, it might be 3, it might be 4 hours, whatever it takes, you can feel them if they're sort of real puffy, like you feel like they're going to pop when you touch them. You've gone too long. You want them just to the point where they're full, but not too soft. So anyway, that's what they look like now. I'll show them to you in about 3 hours. So I let the bread rise about 3.5 hours. For the second rise, I let it rise. And usually what I do while I'm preheating the oven, and it takes a while because it's a 450. It takes a while to get to 450. While I'm doing that, I put the bread or the dough in the oven. I mean in the refrigerator, which cools it down, and I'll show you it helps it to release from the rising pans, so the rising trays easier. So anyway, and while I'm preheating, I put my pans, my 2 baking pans in the oven to let them heat up with it. And I'll show you those. I'm going to get those out. These are very hot. They're at 450 degrees, so I need to sort of rush here. What I'm going to do now is get the bread dough out of the refrigerator. Take them, and this is parchment paper. I'm going to take it and put it on the parchment paper. I'm going to get down low here. Flip it over onto the parchment paper. Now I want to sit down and sort of hold it to where it falls out, hopefully. Takes a second, but it's moving. There it goes. Now show the design. See what I was talking about on the design of that these rising bowls. They give it a little shape, a little design. And now you have to cut. If you don't cut, what you're going to have is an explosion of. It's going to open up and mess your bread up. So you have to cut it out on the top. And I always use a little steak serrated edge. They work the best. I always put a K for night skier. I don't cut too much, I don't cut too deep, but deep enough to get through the outer crust. And it'll open up more when you cook it. It'll open up quite a bit more. So, have to be careful or it looks like an X. There it is. Now this is sort of tricky here. I'm going to open this. And this thing is extremely hot. It's sort of hard to do with gloves on. So, try to do it without. Put it in there like that. Put the top back on. Then I'm going to do this one. Same thing. Let it fall out. Be patient, because if you try to pull it out, you'll tear it. And again, I'll put my trademark K on the top. Don't forget to do this. I forgot to do it one time. And if you try cooking bread, you're going to see that it's a trial and error. You're going to, a lot of errors. But it's usually edible even if you mess up, so don't stop trying. Here it is. And you see I put these aluminum foil. That's just because this pan is cheap. It's not well fitted. And so the aluminum foil just helps it to seal the lid better. And then I always push the parchment paper down in there a little bit better so it that's up the shape of the bread. Put the lid back on. Try to get as good a seal as I can because the steam in there. I'll be right back. The cast iron one works very good. The stoneware works very good. I have another Dutch oven that's that cast iron porcelain lined. It works very well, not quite as good as the cast iron, but each one is a different amount of time that you cook it. I cook it at 450 degrees and for 40 minutes, and then with the cast iron it's done. I usually get my meat thermometer and I check it, and if it's over 210 degrees, it's good. Or if it's 210 degrees, it's good. The other one, I cook it for about 40 minutes, the stoneware, then I take the lid off for maybe another 5 minutes to let it brown a little better. It doesn't brown as well as the cast iron one. And after that, again, you check it at about 210, you take it out, and it's delicious. And then after that, I'll show you when I get it back, but when we take it out, hopefully it'll come out looking really good. This one looks really good, so I think it's going to be really good, and it's worth the effort. It takes all day long, but you have a lot of breaks, so always have a glass of wine at the end. Cast iron normally takes right at 40 minutes, so I'm going to take the cast iron one out, and then we're going to check it. I have a meat thermometer here that I'll check it with, and if it's hot enough, it'll be ready, because it usually cooks fast. this bread, you can hear it crackling because what it's doing is cooling back down, and the outer shell is hard, so it doesn't cool back down with it. So anyway, you have to wait. Normally you wait 20 to 30 minutes before you cut it. And so we can't cut it yet. It's hard to wait sometimes, but if you cut it too soon, it's too soft and you'll mash it down. And again, we'll wait about 30 minutes. If you look close, you can see the design that these make. So that's why I use it. You don't have to. You can use something else, but you do way better. It looks way better, but it tastes just as good if you don't use it. Okay, if you listen close. We've waited about 20 minutes, so I'm going to take this one and set it off to the side. And we're going to cut this one. Hopefully it looks good. If not, so you can get so far it's very crunchy crust. Delicious. And I'll put a little butter on it, or a lot of butter. Let that. I'm going to slice another one. I'll put a little bit of jelly on them. Alright, I'm going to try it. Good. Best bread you will ever eat. It's worth the day's work. It's not that much work. A couple hours of actual work, but you do spend the day going back and forth with it. But it's really worth it. All right, that's about it on how to make sourdough bread. I'm hoping with this channel, most of my recipes are going to be outdoors, but bread is so essential to everything we're going to be making. You know, to like a hamburger yesterday, to different things like that outside and over the fire, which to me is the most fun. But you need good bread to go